So I have made enough thermal content now that Infiray got in touch and wanted to send me their P2 Pro thermal imaging camera, and it's one of the kind that goes onto the bottom of a smartphone. I'll come back to this bit in a minute. So this is their P2 Pro, and it is the smallest thermal imaging camera you can get that goes onto a smartphone. Now, one of the main benefits of this is it doesn't have or use any batteries. This just plugs straight in the bottom of your phone and works off the phone's battery. Not like our Flir boy over here, which we'll do a comparison with, which requires you to charge it, and it won't charge off the phone. You have to charge it separately. And mine's usually flat every time I come to it. So this is a welcome change, being able to just plug this into the bottom of your phone and use it as is. I haven't actually gone deeper into this box. There's things in here. There's another smaller box in here, which I'm about to tear open. Sorry. Aha! I was looking for this. A USB-C extension cable, so you can plug one end into your phone. Please let go. Plug your USB end into that end, the male end, that's what I'm looking for, and then put the camera in the USB end so you can actually, so you don't have to have it physically attached to the phone. If you want to poke it in a space where you can't get your whole phone, you can just put said thermal imaging camera into USB-C extension cable, and then you can just take the camera itself out and use that attached to the phone separately. Right, that might work now. That might let me actually have enough phones to do a comparison here. Because the problem I have is, well, the other comparison I want to do is this Infiray versus the Infiray that's in the Doogee S98 Pro. That's an Infiray thermal imager in there, and the Infiray the P2 Pro versus the Flir 1 Pro, which is probably, I think, double the price of the Infiray. It's also like 4 times the size. So this is the Flir 1 Pro that I've been using as my go-to thermal imager for quite some time before I got the Doogee S98. So here's the Flir 1 Pro. Here's the P2, and it's 1, 2, 3, nearly 4 times the size that way, and they're not too hugely off thickness, but yeah. So you can have this attached to the bottom of your phone, or this attached to the bottom of your phone. Now, the only thing that it's not got, that the Flir has, is the MSX, which is the image, real light? No, visible light mixing with the thermal image, because it's only got a thermal imager. But the resolution of the thermal imager is, I don't know, it's like twice or 3 times the Flir, so you almost don't need the visible light. The Doogee, again, has got the Infiray thermal imager, but it can mix in the cameras because, well, they're right next to each other, and it was built for that purpose. So let us set up some sort of test thing. So over here, what I have is so this is a stack of washers wrapped in Captain tape around a 12-volt automotive glow plug, which I will heat up, and then the Captain tape, its emissivity is about the 0.9 that we want, so it should be about correct for temperature wise, and that'll give us a quiet and stable temperature source that we can point the thermal imagers at and have a look at how they perform. And the other thing that Infiray sent, well, mostly because I asked them to, is, so they sell this, and they also sell a macro lens adapter for it. This is the macro lens, and it just magnets onto the front of the camera, and that just attaches, let's say, via a magnet. It just magnets on there, and that lets you do macro stuff. You get up really, really close up to electronic components that are on your electronics board. So, like, resistors, we'll be able to be seeing on the board actual resistors and get actual real up close. If you've seen my other video, I was looking on a running circuit board, but unfortunately that has to be running, and it's very, very loud. And so I'm just going to do, like, we're going to look at some individual components with the macro lens and see that. Right, enough of the chitty chatting. Let's set up some sort of test and point things at hot things. Right, it's going to be my setup. I've got my phone and the Flir one in the tripod. I've got the Doogee and the extension cable and the P2 Pro, and I'm going to hold them at the same distance away from the hot object, which is the glow plug, and we're going to, well, record what they see. I'm going to try and aim them in roughly the same place so that we get kind of a nice comparatory thing, and I'm going to let that run for a few minutes, seconds. I'll maybe just talk to myself while I'm doing this. Right, so we should have, so at the moment the Flir has gone out of range, so somewhere there's an option. You can't change it while it's running. Well, that's a bit of a downer. So the P2 Pro is showing 165 degrees for the glow plug bit, and the Flir's showing 150 or over 150. Right, I'm going to stop these videos. So Flir says 150, 160 at the very hottest point, and the Doogee says 165. Okay, that's close. Right, all right, let's take the we have to stop this every time. So this is the thermal image of the Flir, and this is all it can see in thermal mode. This is it. It's what's the word I'm looking for? Resolution. That's the one. This is its resolution in just pure thermal mode. As you can see, it's rather fuzzy, and the Infiray is a lot sharper. I'm going to say the only thing I don't like about the Infiray is the red text. If there was an option somewhere, I wish there was an option to change the colour of the text, that would be super fantastic. Because if I go over something that's exactly the same colour, or nearly enough the same colour as the text, it kind of disappears. Whereas the Flir in white, it's white with a black outline, so even if you go over something, I don't know if I can do it, yeah, you can see it there. Yeah. Oh, also I have video speed, so I'm going to move the Flir over a bit. I think that, sure, the Flir's like 12 hertz. So that's it panning, and that's its video speed. I'm going to do the same panning on the P2, and we'll see it's I think it's about double the speed of the Flir. Right, that is a kind of far away shot. Now, obviously I don't have enough hands or things to do a close-up shot at the same time. So what I'm going to do is stop the video, and then we'll do one camera, and then we'll do another camera. Okay, first, because it's got a battery that's slowly dying, we'll do the Flir first. So let's record with the Flir, and let's get in up close in pure thermal mode. So there's no point comparing the MSX cameras because that's not the important bit here. So this is the pure thermal output from the Flir camera. Okay. Poor power supplies having to do things in the background. Right, so that's the Flir. Let's stop that there. And now we'll take the P2. Let's film this, and let's get up close with the thermal imaging. Now notice that bit's really, really fuzzy. Now, is there a setting perhaps I should change to wide range? Is that what I'm looking for? Mode. Wide range, that's what we're looking for. We are going to be the same as the Flir. That's better. Now we can see the full temperature range. And we will do same swoopy panning. Granted, this probably should be attached to a phone. It would make it a lot easier for me to see what I'm doing. Oh, it's hard to brain when you're just moving the camera and looking at it. So this is the pure, obviously, resolution of the P2. It appears to have, well, I think they both do. They've got a much higher resolution. Well, let's just change that. Put it back to, wait, maybe not auto. Right, high image quality. So if we put it back to high image quality, and that, so we get a lot sharper. Oh, incoming call. One moment, please. So both the Flir and the P2 have a much higher resolution at the lower temperatures, but well, they're both kind of guessing at temperature here because we are out with their low range and the object's much hotter than what they can see, but it gives you a comparatory image, hopefully. It's weird, the Flir one, it looks better there, but when you get further away, it looks a lot worse than the P2. I don't know, it's bizarre. Slightly bizarre. Right, so that's us done. Wait. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. So we've done the Flir Pro versus the P2 Pro. Now I'm going to put this onto that phone and then use that phone's own infrared. So exit that. Take that off. Turn this off because it's got a battery and it dies. And then we take this and stab it into the bottom of our phone. Oh, except I've got a case on and it doesn't fit. There. That's a thing. So the USB-C ports on the Flir 1, the Flir 1 Pro, if you twiddle this knob, it makes the port stick out further or less, more or less, so you can mount this on with your case. Sadly, that's not a thing on the P2 Pro. What they should have done is used a longer USB-C port and stuck it further out, because my case isn't even that thick. This is a Pixel 7 Pro, and it's not, can you see? Not that deep a bit to cover the bottom, but it's just enough that it won't let it go in. So we're going to have to take it out its case and use it naked. Yep, it's not been out its case in a while. Let's try not drop it. Best not on camera. Right, out our case. Now we can plug in the thing in the bottom. It fits nice in the bottom. And then we'll P2 Pro. And it should fire straight up. Lovely. I mean, you can see how fast the video is on the, or rather display refresh rate. Right, okay, so now I don't have enough hands again. Because we want to compare the... You just go away. Right, go away. There. So many USB questions. Right, and now we'll compare the Infiray that's built into the S98, the Doogee, in the phone, because it's got an Infiray. And we'll do a far away. This phone is much larger than my Pixel. It will not fit in the tripod. Come on. Here we go. Right. And we shall turn off the MSX imagey thing again, because we don't need that. We just want pure infrared. Right, pure infrared. So again, I'll put the Doogee phone in the tripod and I'll hold my other phone up next to it and we'll film the heat source from here. So they're both relatively in the same, aiming at the same place. Okay, let's make videos. And that and that. Okay. So this is the Doogee versus the Infiray P2 Pro. And I think, and I set the temperature range on auto just now, but if we set it to the 550 level in the Doogee, see, again, it changes the resolution, but it's also because it's seeing a higher temperature. 226. Let's do the same on this one. Where's mode, wide range, switch over. It's nice being able to switch it on the fly. unlike the Flir, which you have to stop every time. So let me get that in roughly the same spot. So again, the P2 is saying 210, and the Doogee is saying 226. I noticed that the P2 Pro is able to measure the higher temperature and the lower temperature at the same time, which is interesting and actually quite useful, because it's nice to be able to see the very high temperature as well as a low temperature. Right, so if we switch this back to mode, high image quality, and we'll do the same for the Doogee. Not that one. No, that's the nope, wrong range. Great, high, low, smashing. What button is it? That one? Nope. Literally used it a moment ago. That turns the light on off. Right, there it is. Range. Right, we're back to normal range, and we can see the images much better. Right. Don't really need to do there's a quick close-up with the P2 Pro, and then we'll do a close-up with the, whatchamacallit, the Doogee. Come on, Doogee. Come out. Come out of your large, right? Your hand off the thing. Right. Yes, burning protection, go away. I know it's very hot. Right. Let's try and get these somewhere near each other. It's weird because one's at the top of the phone and one's at the... Let's just aim for different sides. It's kind of... you don't prompt me as well. It's weird. I don't like how the P2 just makes static out of anything it doesn't understand. That's a bit strange. At least the other Infiray just says it's too hot for this sensor mode. This one just kind of like gives in. I think they've got... The P2 Pro's got faster video still. I'm doing a bit of left to right here, except I need to go that way to make it look the same. Definitely better for video capture. The P2 Pro. Definitely better for video for that. Right, let's stop these filming now. Let's stop that and stop that. Alright, so that's some kind of comparison. The main reason I said yes to the P2 Pro was for the component testing. Or rather, no, sorry, the macro level lens, so we can actually get right in very, very close to components. So I haven't turned the power supply on yet. So if we do a video, and this is just the normal without the lens. So there's a little diode, and that's about, well, you can see on the camera how close I am to the... We can see it's warm, but we can't actually get zoomed in on it. And that's when you flip it over and you take your macro lens, put your macro lens on, and then I'm going to actually just apply some 0.8 volts to the diode so that its reverse current kicks in and actually has to dissipate. Yes, I'm still using the P2 Pro. Go. Da 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 da. Can I get video? Can I? Oh, you've bugged out. Not gonna lie, the software has been a little bit buggy in my testing. It does have a tendency to start and stop sometimes. Right, so here we go. So this is with the macro lens, and we can basically see nothing until we get very close to the object that we want to see. Now look at that. We are right on that diode. You can almost read the numbers off it. Almost. So there's the rest of the diodes. And remember, this is purely in thermal mode. There's no visible light on this camera. This is just seeing the difference in thermal on these diodes. Right, granted only one's doing anything, but... And hopefully, can you see on camera how close I am to actual component level? So, and these are pretty big diodes, so you can imagine an even smaller components. You'll be able to get right in on top of them and actually see what is doing what. Well, I did have a clip in my other video of it on a running board. I'll see if I can find that, but it's handy. I mean, we can actually go. Here's a up close shot of our stack of washers. Really, really up close shot. Oh, macro's nice. You gotta love macro. So I have to say that's probably the most used feature I'm going to use on the thing, is actually for zooming in on components to see which ones I am melting. Well, what are my final thoughts on the Infiray P2 Pro? Well, my first one is, I like that it doesn't have any batteries. That I can just plug it straight in the phone and it'll work. I don't have to worry about trying to remember to have this charged, because you have to charge it from USB-C, it doesn't run off the USB-C of the phone. And another commenter who's got one as well commented that his battery doesn't last very long anymore. Like, it takes hours to charge and then you only get like 15 minutes of use. This one is still okay at the moment, but the battery does drop off quickly as using it. Again, no battery for this, so not that problem. I like that it has the option of adding the macro lens, which just snaps on magnetically. That's a very nice feature. The only thing I don't like is the USB-C port not being long enough. That could be, even if it was just fractionally longer, they could it would sit in the phones with cases better. But that's being said, they do provide you with an extension cable, which, you know, worst come to the worst, you could use that. If you really didn't want to take your phone out of its case, you could just use the USB extension. Resolution is tremendous. Frame rate is fantastic for video compared to the Flir. The only thing it's obviously not got is the MSX of, you know, merging the visible light and the infrared image into one image like the Doogee has and the Flir has. Price wise, I think this comes in at like somewhere between 200 and 270, depending if you got the macro lens or not, or what other accessories you choose with it. Your Flir 1 Pro, it's about 400 odd pounds. Yeah, 400 pounds. Now, if you can get one, versus 270 with better resolution and higher frame rates and no battery. So I would probably, yeah, because this would be nice just to keep in, you know, with your phone or in your case or your toolbox perhaps, and you don't have to worry about your Flir being charged. You can just grab this out and go thermal imaging. Any comments, questions, anything like that, please leave them down below and I'll try my best to answer them or send them to the relevant people who could also perhaps answer them. And as always, thanks for watching.